Every journey begins with a single step, and every transformation begins with a single thought. Long before you believed in yourself, there was a quiet voice hidden beneath the noise, patiently waiting to be heard. It never demanded your attention. It simply waited for the day you would stop running and finally listen. Today, as you stand at the end of this journey, you realize that voice was never leading you away from yourself. It was leading you home. Do you remember the darkness where this story began? The voice that whispered fear into every dream and doubt into every decision. Back then, you believed it was the only voice that mattered. You obeyed it without question, allowing it to shape your future one fearful thought at a time. But every lesson you have learned has revealed a greater truth. That voice was never your master. It was only a guest that stayed, because you never asked it to leave. You walked through a prison that no one else could see. Its walls were built from old failures, painful memories, broken promises, and beliefs that never belonged to you. For years, you searched for someone to unlock the door, never realizing the key had been in your own hands all along. The prison was real, but its power depended on one thing alone: your willingness to believe that escape was impossible. Then came the battle between two voices. One promised comfort, excuses, and safety. The other demanded courage, discipline, and faith. Every day they competed for your attention, and every decision strengthened one while weakening the other. You discovered that your destiny was never decided by talent or luck. It was decided by the voice you chose to follow when life became difficult, and no one else could make the choice for you. The blacksmith taught you that steel is not strengthened by avoiding the fire. It is strengthened because of it. Every hardship, every disappointment, and every challenge became another strike of the hammer shaping your character. At the time, the pain felt unfair. Today, you understand that without the fire, the steel would have remained weak. Without the struggle, the person you are becoming could never have been forged. You learned that every thought you repeated became stronger, just as the old story of the two wolves had always promised. The wolf of fear grew when you fed it with doubt. The wolf of courage grew when you nourished it with hope, discipline, and truth. Then came the day you broke the chains and began building a new mind, one thought, one habit, and one faithful decision at a time. That was the moment everything truly began to change. Now, standing at the edge of the final lesson, you notice something remarkable. Every chapter, every battle, every setback, and every victory has been guiding you toward this single moment. You were never learning how to control your thoughts. You were learning something far greater. You were becoming the kind of person worthy of leading them. The student who entered this journey is no longer standing here. A new person has quietly taken their place. The greatest misunderstanding about the mind is believing that mastery means silence. It does not. Even the wisest person will hear fear knocking at the door. Doubt will still appear without invitation, and uncertainty will still cast its shadow across the path ahead. The difference is no longer the presence of those voices. The difference is that they no longer decide your direction. Their power ends where your wisdom begins. Picture the captain of a great ship crossing an endless ocean. He cannot command the wind to change, nor can he stop the waves from rising against him. Yet he never mistakes the storm for the destination. His hands remain steady on the wheel because he knows where he is going. Your thoughts are the wind, your emotions are the waves, but your purpose is the compass that keeps your life moving toward its true destination. There was a time when every negative thought became an order you obeyed without question. One whisper of failure made you stop trying. One painful memory convinced you to stop believing. Today, those same thoughts still pass through your mind, but they are nothing more than visitors. You greet them without fear, allow them to pass without resistance, and continue walking toward the life you have chosen to build with intention. Mastery begins with one powerful realization. You are not your fear. You are not your anger. You are not your failures, your regrets, or the mistakes that once kept you awake at night. Those experiences shaped parts of your story, but they never became your identity. The author was never the pages already written. The author was always the one holding the pen, deciding what the next chapter would become. Look at the fortress you have built within your mind. Every wall stands because you chose discipline over excuses. Every tower rises because you answered doubt with courage. Every gate remains strong because you protected your thoughts from the voices that once tried to destroy them. This fortress was never built to keep life out. It was built to keep your purpose standing, no matter how fierce the storms beyond its walls may become. The old blacksmith watches from a distance with quiet pride. He no longer needs to guide your hands or remind you where to strike the hammer. The lessons have become part of who you are. The fire that once burned inside the forge now burns within your heart. Every challenge you face from this day forward will no longer be an obstacle to fear. It will become another opportunity to strengthen the person you have chosen to become. One day, someone will ask you how you found peace in a world filled with noise. They may expect you to reveal a secret hidden inside a book or a speech. Smile gently because the answer is far simpler. Peace arrived the moment you stopped fighting every thought and started leading your mind with wisdom, patience, and purpose. That quiet decision changed everything, and it became the beginning of true mastery. The path behind you tells a story few people will ever fully understand. They will see your confidence, but not the nights you questioned yourself. They will admire your strength, but never witness the battles fought inside your own mind. They will celebrate your victories without knowing how many times you stood alone, choosing hope over surrender. Every unseen battle became another step toward the person standing here today. As the sun rises beyond the mountains, you find yourself standing before the old forge one final time. The fire still burns with the same quiet intensity. The anvil bears the marks of countless blows. The hammer rests where it always has, waiting in silence. The blacksmith looks at you, not with pride alone, but with certainty. He knows there is nothing more he can teach. The lessons no longer belong to him, they belong to you. Without speaking a single word, the old blacksmith removes his leather apron and gently places the hammer upon the anvil. The sound echoes through the forge like the closing note of a beautiful song. Then he turns toward the open doorway, where morning light pours across the stone floor. Before leaving, he smiles one last time. It is not a farewell filled with sadness. It is the quiet smile of a teacher whose student has finally become the master. You step forward and wrap your hand around the worn wooden handle of the hammer. It feels heavier than you expected, yet strangely familiar. In that moment, you realize the weight is not made of iron. It is made of responsibility. No one else can shape your character now. No one else can choose your thoughts, your actions, or your future. The forge is no longer a place you visit. It has become the fire that lives within you. Fear will still appear. Failure will still visit. Life will still test your patience, your courage, and your faith. But those challenges no longer sit upon the throne of your mind. They are no longer your master. They are simply travelers passing through, while you remain firmly grounded in purpose. You have learned that true power is not controlling every moment of life. It is refusing to surrender the leadership of your own mind. Remember where this journey began. A lonely voice hidden in the darkness, an invisible prison built from forgotten fears, two wolves fighting for your attention, a blacksmith shaping steel through fire, chains falling to the ground, a fortress rising brick by brick. None of those stories were separate lessons. They were chapters of one truth. Every step was preparing you for this moment, the moment you finally recognized the leader you were becoming. Now look into the mirror with steady eyes. The person staring back is no longer searching for permission, waiting for rescue, or hoping someone else will change their life. That person has walked through darkness, survived the fire, broken every chain, and built a fortress within. Speak these words with unwavering conviction. I am the master of my thoughts. And as you step forward into tomorrow, remember, keep forging. Your story isn't finished. Thank you for walking this journey with the inner forge. From the voice in the dark to the master of my thoughts, every chapter has been a reminder that your greatest battle and your greatest victory will always begin within. If this series strengthened your mind, inspired your heart, or changed the way you see yourself, then our purpose has been fulfilled. Share this journey with someone who needs it, subscribe for the next series, and continue forging the life you were meant to live. Until we meet again, keep forging. Your story isn't finished.